Hi guys, it's Karen with Love Your Land. Today what I'm doing, you see here I have a bin of lightly pre-moistened soil, and I have these two plastic containers. What's in here are Ranunculus Corms, and then in here is a, what do they call it? It's a collection, I don't know. It's Ranunculus and Anemone Corms together. So this one, by the way, they're both from Eden Brothers. This one's called Porcelain. This is just a corm, so you'll just have to look up, go to Eden Brothers and look up Porcelain Ranunculus, and you'll see what they look like. It's still like a collection, so there's different colors. They're all very like pastel-y and light and pretty and whimsical. And then this one is the Anemone and Ranunculus mix and corm mix, and this is called Alpine mix. So I thought it was called something different. That's why I'm kind of tripping out at it. But anyway, what you want to do with Ranunculus corms, these are like bulbs, but they're called corms. So you plant these in the early spring. You can, if you're in zone, I think 7 and above, or maybe 8 and above, you can plant these in the fall, and that's ideal. But here in Colorado, we don't have that luxury. So we plant ours, we sprout them. You can just plant these directly in the ground. And then you would do that like April 15th if you're in 5B. So just, you'll have to Google that for your zone. But what gives them a little head start is if you pre-sprout them. And so you only need to pre-sprout them for like a couple of weeks inside. And then if you want to take it a step further with giving them a head start, you can actually pot those starts up into little pots, individual pots, and grow those on again still in your house or your greenhouse or whatever for another 2 weeks. And then I'll eventually be planting these out in the garden. Hard to imagine, but this is what we're gonna do around April 15th. I don't think I said this, it's March 15th right now. So I'm gonna get these Ranunculus into this container and sprout them for a couple of weeks, and then I'll pot them up and I'll show you that when we do it. But what I did today, because when you get these corms from wherever, these again happen to come from Eden Brothers, they just come in, they're dried up little, they look like literally like garden debris. I'll show you this up close. This is what they look like, okay? They didn't look like this 4 hours ago. They looked like literally like dead spiders or something. And so when you're ready to do this, you don't do it ahead of time, you do it when you're ready to do this, you sprout them in water like this for 3 to 4 hours max, but no more than 4 hours. And then let's see, how am I gonna do this? And then you drain the water off and get them in a container, like a 10-20 like this. So this is a super simple process. What's not simple is figuring out how to set it up so you can see it all. So again, this is just, what is my soil? Pro Mix, and I've lightly moistened it. It's not wet by any means. You don't want it to be, because then your corms can rot. And obviously that's not what you're going for. So we're just putting a couple of inches down on the bottom. Okay, so I'm just putting a couple of inches down at the bottom of this 10-20 tray. That's always hard for me to say. And that's it. Now I know this bowl has, oh, I should show you. So Ranunculus corms look like this guy, okay? And Anemone corms look like this. They look like the pit of a peach or something. So Ranunculus and Anemone. So I'm gonna put some type of divider in here. When I get to this side, you go in there. But for this side, I'm literally just going to take each corm, and you're gonna wanna put it feet down, tentacles down into your tray. Make sure this is leveled off pretty well. Again, you don't want it too wet, too compacted, too anything. And you're just gonna set them right in here. Now I know that each one of these bowls has 20 corms in them. So I think I'll do 4 in a row, and you can pack them pretty tight because they're not gonna turn into full plants in here. I could probably even do them tighter than I'm doing. In fact, I will. Just move this guy over a little bit. You're really just kind of setting them in there because you're going to put more soil on top. By the way, this is my first time doing this, but I have watched so many videos on this. I feel like I've done it a million times, even though I haven't. So we're just sticking them there. It doesn't even have to be perfect. Just get them in there. The great thing about ranunculus and anemones, I believe, but I know for sure ranunculus, I actually know this answer. I'm just forgetting right now, so forgive me. But when you grow your ranunculus plants, so these are going to turn into big, beautiful flower plants out in the garden, right? And they're going to grow and grow. They're going to grow. I think they'll bloom until maybe the beginning of summer, and then I think they start to sort of peter out at that point. And you leave them in the ground. Don't pull them out when they fade, when they start to die. Let them die completely and dry out. And once the ranunculus corms underneath the ground have absorbed all the energy from the plant, you'll know because the plant is like super spent, dead. Oh, how do I have one extra? Oh, I got an extra. We'll just put you right there. Then you dig up your plants, and then the special thing is you have like 3 to 5 more corms at the bottom of that plant. So if you really love this variety, this is porcelain, you never have to buy corms again. So just know that. I'm going to put all my anemones together. I don't know if these go on their side or down or what. That's not is that sprouting? I don't know. I'm just going to lay them in here. We're going to find out. Do I have any more? I have 3 more. One of these days, you guys, I will figure out how to bring you in really close so you're not just guessing at what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm doing the ranunculus next to it. So I'll be able to, even if I don't mark these, if I forget or they fall out or something, I'll still be able to just like go in here and be like, okay, it's very obvious an anemone corm versus a ranunculus corm. So we're just gonna get those guys in there. I don't know what that is, but I don't want it on me. Some of these are full size. Oh, we have another anemone. This is like, can you even see that? It's just so small. I don't feel like that's gonna do anything, but I'm just gonna put it in there anyway. Why not? Certainly not gonna hurt anything. Do I have any more? Another little bitty baby guy. We'll put him in there. That's just nothing. Okay, let me put these over here. Get my bin of soil back over here. Can you see? I've literally just set them in there. Just set them on top of the soil. And now you're gonna take some more soil and put another little layer of soil on top. And these will sprout, excuse me, in like 10 to 14 days, something like that. And then at that point, you can, if you're later in the game, what am I trying to say? You could just go plant them out in the garden like that. I would harden them off first, just like with anything. Or you can pot them up if you have the time. You can pot them up again and give them another 2 weeks to grow on in the house. And then they really get going. So I'm not late right now. If it were already April 1st, then I wouldn't be planning on potting them up. I would just let them sprout here. And then in 2 weeks, I would take them out and plant them outside. If it was already April 15th, I wouldn't do any of this. I would just soak the corms and then plant the corms directly outside. Again, I have time for this, so why not? So that's it. Now these, oh, sorry, buddy. I just pulled them out. Wait, how are you? Where are you? There you go. I thought it was a piece of coir, so I was gonna break it up. Sorry, go back to sleep. Nothing to see here. If you're familiar with my sort of kitchen setup here, I have my grow space over there in that corner. I am not going to put these under the lights right now. I'm not going to put them on heat mats. I'm not even going to have them in my grow space at all. Instead, I'm going to put another rack in my office where there's no direct side. It's north facing, I'm sorry. There's no direct light. It's cooler in my office, and that's kind of what you want. But you do want to make sure that they're, periodically check on them and make sure they aren't like rotting or something. But this is kind of it. If you have a month So let me say it one more way so that it makes a little bit more sense. Because every time I think about this, I'm like, wait, now what do I do? When do I do it? If you have a month before, so let me start over. You want to plant your both ranunculus and anemones outside by 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost, whatever that is. If you're in zones 6 and below. If you're in 7, you're going to do this in the fall, and none of this applies. But 6 and below, you need to plant your ranunculus 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost. So figure out when that is, and then count backwards 4 to 6 weeks. 4 is fine. And then you can start these. You can get a jump start on these. If you have 4 weeks left, you can do this, let them sit in here and sprout for 2 weeks, take them out, pot them up, and let them grow and grow some more foliage for 2 more weeks, and then you can plant them out 4 weeks before your average last frost. If you have no time left, if it's already your average last frost, all you need to do is soak the corms and go plant them. That's it. You don't need to harden off soaked corms. So I think that's everything I need to tell you about, sprouting corms. It's very, very easy. Just make sure you don't put them, make sure they're in a cooler spot, 65, 70 degrees in your house. Don't put them in direct sunlight. No heat mats, no grow lights, nothing. Just let them be like this when they're in this stage. And then in 2 weeks, if you still have 2 weeks left or 4 weeks left, in 2 weeks from now, I'll pot them up. And then in 4 weeks from today, I'll be able to plant them out in my garden, which will be about April 15th. Well, pretty much exactly. So that's it for now, you guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see these guys again in 2 weeks. I'll bring you back and do another video, and we'll show you the progress and what they look like after 2 weeks in this little setup. I forgot to say one thing. You can actually also, if you don't have like a dark enough room or, a room without direct sunlight, you can take another empty 10-20 tray and put that upside down on top of your ranunculus just to keep them from getting that direct sunlight and getting too warmed up. And that's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.